Hi, welcome to the Balanced Body Podcast. My name is Stacey Sims and I own Pendleton Pilates in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'm an educator and an instructor. Heather Summer is a co-educator with me at Pendleton Pilates and also an instructor in our Pilates system. So today what we're going to work on is we're going to do a spine articulation. Basically, we're going to modify the bridge pose to get more articulation to the spine and look at ways to keep the neck out of jeopardy when you're elevating the lower body off the floor. It's going to be easier to visualize once we get Heather lying down. So why don't you go ahead and lie down on the mat. Groovy. Thank you. Alrighty, so spine articulation. Essentially what the exercise is when the spine articulates, the joints articulate, and she rolls up and she rolls back down. But before we get into the full movement, we want to talk a little bit about the alignment principles that are going to help really make this a wonderful exercise. First of all, what often happens is as the spine starts to move up off the floor, in order to accommodate the movement of the pelvis, the knees often want to fall out to the side, or the feet want to roll out to the side. So what I'm going to be keeping an eye on, and I'd like you to keep an eye on when you do these exercises, you can roll all the way good back down, is that feel a firm foundation of the feet. So you really want to feel the feet connect with the floor. You want to line up hips, knees, toes, and you want to make sure that the knees don't open out. Her starting position is that the tailbone is pressing down. She feels the ridge of the thoracic spine at the base of the scaps. And she also feels, very importantly, basically the base of the skull pressing into the mat. What we want to make sure of is that when she starts to elevate her body up, and I'm just going to take her up a little bit, what we don't want to see is we don't want to see any change in the curve of the cervical spine. So sometimes by coming up too high into, say, a high bridge pose, the neck starts to get a little compromised. Go ahead and roll yourself back down and we'll go into the full exercise. So we want to make sure that we keep our legs aligned, our feet connected, and we want to really press into the base of the skull. We're going to basically keep the base of the scaps on the mat, and we're going to really work on the spine articulation with a stabilization through the upper body. So let's take a look at that. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale, she's going to pull in her abdominal muscles to articulate up the low part of the pelvis. Good. So do you see how her upper back is really pressed down and she's scooping those abdominals in? Now what she's going to do is she's going to keep peeling her spine up, keep peeling her spine up, 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 one vertebrae at a time. So at this position, she's still got her back down. Her upper back is on the mat. The back of her head is on the mat. So she's got a nice neutral curve in the cervical spine. And I want her to scoop her belly in even more. Good. So she starts to get a nice opening across the hip flexors, not putting any strain on the neck. She's going to take an inhale, exhale, and she's going to scoop her belly and roll down one vertebrae at a time. I feel like you're putting one vertebrae down on the mat like a strand of pearls is stretching down onto the mat. So that is a challenging enough exercise. You can work on that on your own, just on the mat. But if you feel like you've accomplished that exercise and you want to make it a little more challenging, you can add balance into the equation. So we're going to take this full foam roller, which you can get at Pilates.com, and we're going to place it under the feet. Again, Heather wants to keep her alignment. So her hips, her knees, and her feet are going to be in alignment. And the intention is she's going to articulate up again without moving this at all. That's going to really demand she works the back of the legs. Beautiful. Take an inhale, exhale, and scoop and roll back down. Good. Great. All the way back down to the tailbones down. Now, it really challenges the hamstrings, it really challenges the inner thighs, because sometimes what happens is the legs, and what's happening a little bit with Heather's leg is her right knee wants to roll out and her foot wants to roll out, which is going to actually be challenging on her ankle and the outside of the foot. So I'm going to stabilize her knees and her feet. Take an inhale, exhale, scoop the belly, roll up, up, up a little higher. So the pubic bone comes up, but the belly sinks down. Do you see how much curve there is in her spine and in her belly? Lengthen the crown of the head to the back roll. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale, scoop and roll down, scoop and roll, pull in the abdominals, iron out the spine until the tailbone goes all the way back down. Gorgeous. Thanks for stopping by. We hope to see you soon.